What's going on, my peeps? It's your boy Lem. On the next episode of Ascot Hats Real Talk, we have a special guest, CEO, executive coach, resume builder, wife and mother, Laura Bashore. Laura shares her passion for service, her ability to cultivate meaningful relationships, and her reason for starting 3 successful businesses. Tune in as we engage with one of San Diego's brilliant entrepreneurs, Laura Bashore.
We are happy to have this phenomenal woman, Laura Bashore, to join Ascot Hats Real Talk.
All right.
Did you like that?
That was the whole introduction?
That was it?
But did you like? I was setting it. I was waiting for the hush.
It was a little
to
slow.
go over the crowd.
It was a little slow.
It was a little slow.
It was
I'm waiting for the reaction. You
know what? Never mind. Laura,
Yes.
can you share with us why, after knowing him, the time that you have known him,
Yes.
you agreed to come on to this show when he asked?
That's
tough
a little
question, right?
difficult to answer.
That's a total.
Yeah.
These are the tough questions we're going to throw at you
honestly,
today.
hey, that is a tough one to start with, you know. But I love Lem.
Thank
Lem's
you.
great.
Aw.
We
You don't have
network
to say
together. We do business together, and I happen to like you guys as well. Because
Yep.
it's not just because of Lem. If I had not met you two before, I wouldn't just be like, let me show up here. Don't tell me what we're doing. Just tell me I'm going to be here.
That's awesome.
So I'm happy to be here and see what's going on and kind of add a little bit
How did you
more
guys meet
energy
initially?
here.
Let's hear that story.
So we met. What was it? Over a year ago at the North San Diego Business Chamber.
Yes.
Okay.
So we were just networking and kind of just like bumped into one another, started talking, and we reached out via email, then LinkedIn, then
a Zoom.
Oh,
all
yes.
the things you build up.
That's right.
You got to build up.
They were steps.
You guys went through every platform.
We
Yes.
cultivated the
You
relationship.
did. You have to.
Yeah. This sounds like one of those COVID meetups. You know,
you guys do
end up on
Teams too?
Zoom and Teams.
Did you do Teams?
We did do Teams. We did do a Teams. Yeah.
No, we didn't
Yeah.
go on Teams.
We did a Teams.
Was it Teams?
Yeah. We did a Teams.
All right,
We
whatever.
did like 2. Yeah.
We went on it. Basically, the organization he used to work for, I used to work there back before I had my own business, not there, but I used to work with a partner company.
Okay.
And so when I saw his name badge, I was like, oh. And I saw the position he had, and that didn't exist like 11 years ago when I was there. So I was interested. But really, it was just from talking with him, I was like, oh, this is somebody I could see myself furthering and doing business with, because as a business owner, I'm very cognizant of where I spend my time. And I want to make sure that I enjoy my time. So I don't just go and do business to do business. I need to enjoy the vibe of the person. It's one of the great honors we get to do as business owners is we get to choose who we do business with. So
Yes.
Yeah.
I like what you said there.
Yeah.
Because it is an honor. It's actually for me at least, one of the things that I love the most about is that we have some semblance of control over the kinds of projects and the kinds of people associated with the projects that we're going to do.
yeah,
But it comes at a price, right? Because we take the risk.
yes,
We do all of that.
absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about the businesses, or how did you, actually, maybe a better question, what sparked your entrepreneurial spirit to go into business for yourself? Did you do that very early on, or?
No, I never wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Really?
Yeah, because my dad was one and his dad was one. And then I guess for a bit, my mom was too. They're divorced, so I wasn't really fully in on her stuff.
What kind of business your dad?
Mechanic. So when I was a kid, we took one vacation. We took a vacation to San Diego. And when I was 8, I loved that. And I was like, I'm going to move to San Diego one day.
Where were you at then?
Fresno.
Okay.
Oh,
That's usually the reaction. That is.
You literally just killed the entire community of followers that we had at Fresno.
That one person that liked us.
Exactly.
Hey, the only time I ever got a good response to that is when I said Fresno, California, when I was visiting Toronto. when I was a teenager, they were like, "Oh, do you surf? Do you know
yeah.
movie stars?" Because all they heard was California. But
Yes.
normally that's the response. So I never wanted to because I was like, that is so much work. And then when I moved to San Diego at 20, I worked for a physical therapist who was an entrepreneur as well. She owned her own business.
Okay.
She wasn't getting nowhere. She looked stressed out all the time. So I just fell into it. I had a child, my first son, and he did not do well at daycare. So I took a step back from running a career center here locally. And then in my spare time, people wanted me to help them with their resumes, their interviews. And because I didn't have any more red tape, because I didn't work for an agency, I could give my real opinions. And the people I was helping were getting jobs quickly, like 2-3 weeks. That doesn't happen all the time. But I was like, oh, maybe people would pay me to do this.
What year is this?
2016.
Okay.
And then 4 months later,
Yeah,
I
so
was
that's pretty
pregnant
rapid.
with my second son. So
Okay.
I built my business while raising
That-
under 2 and being pregnant and all the things.
So multitasking.
Yeah,
A little bit.
always.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then since then, now I own 2 other businesses as well.
Now, before we get to that her resume business,
Okay.
phenomenal. So I have a friend on the East Coast,
Okay.
was transitioning from one job and wanted to just get into something else and more administration in universities and colleges. And I was like, dude, I know the perfect person. Made the connection through our networking group as we do make referrals.
Which is what you do.
Yeah, for referrals for one another. And maybe 2.5 weeks later, he calls me up. He's like, bro. I was like, what? He was like, tell Laura, thank you. Oh my God. His confidence went through the roof.
That's cool.
Through the
So
roof.
it wasn't there before.
No.
Do not use his name.
No, I'm not going to use that. He'll see it. He'll know.
Throw him under the bus
know.
right
That's
now.
okay. He knows,
no,
but just call the brother out.
he was using someone else.
Was he like
And-
Indeed or something?
No, whoever he was using just was not good.
I don't know why I plugged
and,
Indeed.
yeah, they gonna have to pay us
right
now. And he paid someone else,
Yeah, baby.
and he was like, "It's just a waste of money." So he was already triggered, and I was like, "Bro, I've already heard some folks that have great testimonials about her work," and I was like, "Just give it a shot." I said, "I'm give it a shot," and man, I'm literally 2.5-3 weeks later, bragging. A month later, he gets the dream position that he's looking for. 6 months later, he's like, "You tell my friend Laura I said hi."
That's awesome.
So her resume, like, I remember in one of our networking groups, you shared with someone that you helped with a resume, and then they ended up in our team referral.
Yeah,
You
this
gotta
guy
share
showed
that.
up into our group, and
Yep.
and at the end of, we do like a highlight section in our networking thing, and at the end he's like, "I just want to say, Laura, you're so great at what you do. Thank you for this." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're my Patrick!" And he's like,
Oh, you actually didn't know.
Oh, but you never had like the face to
She never.
No.
Nope.
"No, because I don't
that's-
do my work face
that's
to
cool.
face."
Yeah.
That is very
really
cool.
Yes.
cool. Yeah, and I was like, "Oh,
that's
thanks."
really cool.
I guess I should have said the name.
No, that's okay. It could have been my brother Patrick.
Someone else name. But it was
That is
hilarious
really cool.
because then I felt funny about it because I was like, oh, but it was nice because I was like, oh, that's great because we had worked together like 4 years ago. This wasn't something that, and he was in a different industry now, which,
So how'd you kind of curate that skill set, though, of the resume building and all of that? Because I know that's a big topic, in today's day and age, like all the online applications, automatic rejections, the keywords you have to have in the phrases.
Yeah. So I worked at a university in their admissions department for close to 4 years, but it was second chance students. And so what I really focused on with them is not what does your degree do, but what do you want to do with your degree? Like let's look at what a real path is so you can go somewhere with it. And then from there, I realized that's what I really loved doing. And so when I left that position, I started working at a career center, America's Job Centers, Career One Stop, whatever you want to call it. The names always change. And I just kind of built it out from there. I learned more things there, figured out how to utilize all the different tools, and it just in my careers before that, I've been in like 5 or 6 different industries. So I'm really good with identifying transferable skills. And in each of those industries, I moved up into management and director positions. So my clients don't have to be specific of an industry. I help them hone in those leadership skills and how do you get into those positions? Or if you're there, how do you continue to advance? So.
Wow.
Are all your businesses, would you consider them help businesses where you're helping people accomplish something?
I mean, I think so because my other business is Team Referral Network. I joined that.
Why
That's
you gotta
right.
be a cheerleader every
That's
time?
right. Executive
That's
Ventures,
right.
baby. The
That's
best.
why we're together.
That's right, baby.
Right.
Give it up, Laura. Boo.
Shameless plug.
That's it.
Plug.
That's right.
It's fine. We don't feel left out at all.
Cheers.
Look, Laura.
You've come.
I have.
You've
He's come.
No, it was a good
you know?
experience.
You know,
It was a good experience.
Executive Ventures, Team Referral, Venture X
That's
Building,
when you
Scripts
told me
Ranch.
I heard you.
That's when you told me I should start a dating service. Because remember, I
should.
showed you how my people ended
Yes.
up getting married. It's
Yes.
a whole different story.
Yeah, that's a whole. That's actually,
That's a fun
That's
story.
a separate podcast.
But yeah, all of my stuff. So I joined Team as just a member to help my business, and in doing so, again, I moved up to a director position, and then I start helping the other business owners. And then 2023, I was asked by the CEO if I wanted to purchase the franchise. So yeah, I mean, I've always been told that I should have been a teacher. So I like red markers. So there's that.
But she's a good presenter. So her being a teacher, a professor.
You're very comfortable.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I saw when I was there because I did go one time with you. You're very comfortable talking about what's important to you, even in front of people or just one-on-one. I think that comes probably we don't know each other really, really well, but I think there's a genuineness about what you're trying to do. So it just I think it makes us more comfortable when we do that sort of stuff instead of a sales pitch or some sort of posture or something like that where we're trying to do it, right?
Yeah, well, I'm really protective of my reputation.
It's important.
Like, whether or not somebody does business with me, I don't really care. Like, I have turned people away where I'm like, you actually don't need my services.
Right.
Or I'm not the right fit for you. I'll send them
Right.
to someone else because I don't ever want someone to get that feeling of, to your point earlier, like this was a waste. I'm really protective of it. So, and also, I don't need to push my services on people.
No.
Like, if you want to work with me, great. If you don't, okay.
Well, I think it goes back to what you said. Like, you get to choose who you work with.
Yes.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, right?
Yeah.
So if it's not a fit, you don't want to work with them anyway.
Yeah.
And vice versa. So it just kind of organically works itself out. But you could have done this for like a large corporation and had a lot of impact and all that other stuff. It takes a lot. I mean, this is kind of the shameless plug, but like our production company for this show is Cast Great, right?
Yeah.
And the reason it's called Cast Great is because we're always looking for people like yourself who have this innate quality of willing to do the work, to persevere and push through when a lot of people, because of the obstacles or the amount of work that it takes, will decide that it's not worth it or pass up on it. So you always, with your ability, have the opportunity to go to some corporation or somebody else, have them fund you and give you a little bit of direction. Yeah, you have to give the trade-off because they're going to have some rules and a framework that you have to follow.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can make that work, right?
Yeah.
Why do you want to do it with all the work that it takes to run a business yourself? Why?
Because I enjoy the freedom that I have. I'll go to other organizations and I do contracts for them.
Sure.
But I also, a contract has a start and an end.
Right.
I'm not open-ended. It's like I can't go back now to working for someone else.
Right.
It's not even a thought for me because I also have a family. And while I'm not free all day, like a lot of people think, oh, you just do what you want when you want.
She is
right?
not free all day, trust me.
You know? But I am able and have the ability for the majority of my children's things to block that time off.
That's a big
and
deal.
go. And so like I get to take my kids on field trips. I didn't have that when I was growing up. I was raised by a single dad and I appreciate everything he did. Like, we're very close, but yeah, it would have been nice if he would have been able to come to some of my sporting events or the things that I was doing.
Right.
So that's probably what plays into it now.
That makes sense.
Is that I
You don't
know-
want to do that with your kids.
Yeah. Although my son has a baseball game right now.
All right, we don't feel guilty at all.
Here I am.
Thanks, Lem.
But I'll be there on Saturday when
That's
he's
right.
in the playoffs.
There you go.
Okay? And
There you go.
to be fair, when we were first coming on here, I was like, oh, I got to push it back a week because my son's finishing up baseball. Then they dropped a makeup game out of nowhere. And I'm like, well, I cannot, So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have a pretty strict schedule.
Sure.
Even though I say I want freedom,
Yeah.
but I'm constantly busy, but I guess not busy. Like, I'm constantly being productive,
Yes.
So,
Well, props. Your son made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Nice.
yeah, he's
That is
excited.
very cool. That's interesting because I think a lot of the times people think, and you guys chime in here, they think that they romanticize this idea of owning your own business. That, like you said, that I get to do whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want. The reality is something else. A lot of the times it's way more demanding than if you had a job. You can clock out and say like, I'm off. Your business, you cannot. If something happens, it's all on you.
Yeah, you're up in the middle of the night solving a problem because you're the person to answer.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's like
Like no one else.
the
is
buck
there.
stops with
Yeah.
you.
You can't fully shut
24/7.
it down.
No.
Ever.
And your mind's,
Ever.
of course, always engaged in it because it's your own thing. It's your own entity that you're the arbiter of.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
if you stop, it stops. So it's not like, oh, there's other people who are, at the office going to take care of it.
And a lot of times other people aren't going to have the passion.
No.
Well,
For
no,
what
because
needs
it's
to be
not their
done.
business.
No, exactly. Because they're an
Exactly.
employee.
But her passion for the business is definitely on fire because I remember when we started the executive chapter, and she was like, I've been in this business for a little while, and I have never started a chapter and shut it down, and we will not do it with this one. And we were like, yeah, let's go, baby. We caught the vision.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's good that she has it because everybody else
Contagious.
Oh man. So I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, you gotta come.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, Lem, we want specific people. All right, you can't come, but you can come, and you can. I was like, she has to bring me back in.
So basically, y'all profiling.
You're right. Yeah, definitely.
Well, no, it's going back to get to choose who you want to do
Yep.
business with, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
is true. No, that is true.
True. Yeah, I think also, like, honestly, it was harder when I was first starting out. My kids were really little because, like, all the other moms wanted to go on a mom date with me, and or a play date. Sorry, I guess not a mom date, but kind of, right? Like, you want your kids to play
We have
together,
kids.
but now
We get
you
it.
got to talk to this chick, and like, it's not. That's not my thing.
We got to talk to this chick.
Oh my gosh. No wonder my wife and you guys get along. Like, I don't feel like talking to her, Lem. I was like, babe, be nice.
It's like, she's like, who is this chick?
Yeah. And if Pam happens to be watching this, she'll be laughing because she's always laughing. I refer to people as chicks. I don't know.
I love it.
It's
I
not
think it's great.
but then they wanted to talk to me about just organizing like crafts and stuff, and so I didn't have really people who were going through what I was going through. It's really rare to have a mom who's doing a business, and it's not a brush on the MLMs, but that is not that. Like this is. My business is a little bit different, so it's hard. And then, people would get bitter at me, like, well, you could come. You're not doing anything. I'm like, no, I'm only just trying to start up a business. Got a 2-year-old, got one on the way. No, I'm not doing anything.
I think a lot of people who maybe dabble in like a side hustle or have a full-time career with a corporation or a small business as an employee.
Yeah.
They don't appreciate or understand this 24/7, 365. That is building your vision, right?
Yeah.
It takes an everyday, every moment awareness and like drive.
Yeah.
And it's difficult for them sometimes to get it.
Well, and especially at the beginning, as you scale, you can pull back. But at the beginning, you're like, I don't have time for, and I think that's probably what it was too, is because, okay, if you just look at this room right here, this is probably a visual of how many women are business owners to men.
true.
just
It's
honestly.
true.
And,
Okay. Yeah.
And
No,
so
it's true.
Yeah.
when I told my mom friends that I have this business, they probably were like, "It's a side hustle," but it's like, no, like
No, this
you
is
know?
your business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then same thing with the guys like, "Oh, so you just doing this?" I was like, "Yeah, you'll see. It's fine," you know.
So my wife and I have a dear friend, she's a very successful woman in the sciences. Created her own business, built it, sold it, then dabbled around a little bit, and now rebuilding a new one. And she had shared stories with us in the past where she had struggled with a lot of the other people in the community, let's just say that, raising kids,
Yeah.
where they just didn't get why she couldn't be at every PTA meeting and all that. And I think it is different for guys.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, the dad's never around at all the little things. It's like because he's working, and then like everybody's like, okay, that makes sense. That's what he's supposed to be doing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But if a woman's doing it, there's this little bit of a stigma, like she's dropping the ball, like her priorities aren't in order.
Yeah.
Because she's thinking about what does she do? Like, why is she over there doing that?
When she should be baking cookies. And
Right.
getting snacks for the game.
Meanwhile, she's
Yeah.
like building this huge corporation.
Yep.
And in the case of what I'm talking about, she was the primary revenue of the entire. I mean, she has amazing husband. He has his own career, but not anything like building an entire corporation, which she did. And for a lot of the other people that she would normally interact with, that wasn't necessarily warmly received.
No. Well, it's a whole different issue into how females interact with one another, but you're just basically damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, we're set and pitted against each other in everything that we do. And so, for example, I have a friend who, when we started, she was working full time. And so then she'd be like, yeah, I could just not be a stay-at-home mom. And then like she'd kind of bash the stay-at-home moms. And then 2.5 years later, now she's decided she's going to be a stay-at-home mom. So now she's bashing the working moms. And it's like, if you could just like relax and not feel like you needed to belittle someone to get and secure your position,
Right.
maybe everyone would be better off.
Well,
He'll be a little more productive.
yeah. How do you shift that paradigm though? You know, you keep dealing with this one. I'm, bashing the stay at home. Then you want to go out and work. Then you bash the person that wants to go out. And how do you manage that? How do you deal with that type of attitude?
Kind of going back to just picking and choosing who I'm around,
Or drinking.
that combination of
Yeah.
I mean, I just even now, because I do so much networking for my business,
Right.
I will have some of my friends who are like, oh, we need to get together. I'm like, no, on the weekend I'm kind of relaxing because during the week I've been out like on, and you have to have that time to unwind. And I'm not completely extroverted. Like, this is a skill set that I have, and it's not disingenuous. It's just like, when I'm done, I'm done.
Yes.
I need to be done. Like, don't come to me.
I think all people, regardless. I mean, Lem's a very extroverted person, but
Thank you.
it's true. I know. I tell people this all the time, and they don't believe me. But correct me if I'm wrong, bro.
Yeah.
When you got to shut it down, you shut it down.
I shut it all the way.
Yeah.
No text, no social
Yeah,
media.
there'll be his days where he's like, hey, I'm out of here. Not going to respond to a text. It's like,
And you gotta
do that.
respect
You got to respect that, and you recharge the batteries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like, if you're a strong person, you respect that in others too, because you see it.
Yeah.
And so I try to surround myself with that, you know? You have, just like with your career, your social settings change all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, what is Tupac's quote, right? About just because you're not sitting at my table doesn't mean I don't want to see you be successful.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
I didn't know that quote, but that's good.
Oh yeah, I mean, I didn't get it exactly.
No, I get you.
Like,
No, I
it's
got the feeling of it.
and that's how I feel. Like, even if we're no longer communicating or together, like, that's fine. I want you to be good. Like, I just try to walk around and do whatever I need to do because I don't want to deal with anybody else's baggage.
Yeah.
So for people that are, I know you said that you never wanted to start your own business. You kind of like just fell into it because your son was like, hell with this daycare stuff. You take care of me.
Yeah.
What do you say to people that are like they're
On the fence about it.
Yeah, or stumbling into that leadership role or starting their own business. What advice would you give them?
Go to the SBA, Small Business Administration, and go to their free templates for business plans and make a damn business plan. I do not understand of people who are trying. They're like, "Oh, I started business and I didn't even make one." I'm like, "Cool, so you have no idea where you're going."
You have no path laid out, and you're just going, hoping to see what sticks.
Yeah, like your plan is to be a doer the whole time. So you're really not a business owner. You're somebody who does business.
Yeah, and exactly. Then you're always on the grindstone the entire time because you can never step back because you never plan for that point.
You're not even thinking of how to get there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be devil's advocate. I get that, and I agree with you.
But you don't now. What are you going to do?
Exactly. Here he goes.
You really don't agree with that.
No. I agree with you.
Okay.
And I wasn't done yet.
Sorry.
To a certain extent. But on the flip side, some people will go all in on that idea. And the reality is that when you're building a business, the best laid plans never pan out. You need structure, and you need, you need that compass.
No, I think that's a good addendum to it, right?
Because you have to adjust.
You have to be flexible.
And some people, I think, don't realize, and this is just my own personal experience in that tiny little bubble that is my universe, every day presents itself with variables that oftentimes you couldn't even imagine. That you have to, in a moment, make a quick decision about adjustment. And if you keep going back to the business plan that you originally wrote, it will drive you batshit crazy. Batshit crazy. Because you're like, there's no fucking addendum for this in the whole thing.
Well, great, but
why was someone going to steal $10,000 from me? That wasn't in there. Now I have to move.
That's not in the plan.
That's not in the plan.
Exactly.
Put it back in the bank.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, but then I would flip that and be like, maybe then the first step is for you to have someone explain what a business plan is.
So take that further.
If that's what you think, like your business plan is this is exactly how things go. No, those are SOPs. Those are standard operating procedures. That's not a business plan. Your business plan is your vision. And then you're trying to figure out how will you get to there. So my example is this. We were just, you weren't there. I was in this meeting. It was at VentureX, so that's why I'm like, okay. So we had this EOS company come in or something, and they were talking about like how they do their business coaching, basically. And another entrepreneur was in there, and she kind of said the same thing. She's like, I've never had a business plan because I'm just pulling it together and getting in on it. And I said, okay, but the reason why you can't figure out how to start to scale your business is because you never thought about it. Now you're so in the weeds of doing what you're doing, you can't even see what it was. So when I made my business plan, I named my company intentionally A New Resume and Career Services because I knew in scaling I would be doing more things. And so in my business plan, I knew eventually I wanted to do coaching. Well, one of my first clients, like 5 months in, was an executive at Google, and she was going to be getting a not great performance evaluation. And so she just asked me, do you do coaching around performance evaluations? And in my head I was like, well, that's like a year out in the business plan.
But it's in there.
But it's in there. And so I wasn't afraid of it, and I was able on the spot, like you said, when you can't plan for things, because this is like kind of a big fish.
It just falls in your lap.
Yeah, to be more agile.
Yeah, so I said, yeah, I do. Absolutely. Let's get you on the calendar. And so then I used my client to build out my process, my SOPs, the things I needed to follow. So I think maybe then understanding what a business plan should be, it's your thing to go back to make sure, are we moving things forward?
Right.
Everything changes. Like I thought I wanted a brick and mortar.
Yeah.
I thought I wanted to hire on coaches under me and stuff. That was in my business plan.
No, that's not. It's true.
Leave me alone.
I got children.
Yeah.
I don't need to manage no one.
Exactly.
And so I think that's
for
certain personalities, it could seem like that, but then they need to get some coaching on this is how you actually facilitate business ownership. You have to have that flexibility if you are going to be in the owner position.
Yeah, I think agility, dexterity,
Yes.
and quick decision making. I think that's a big thing for a business owner. A lot of the times people overanalyze the situation. And to your point originally, and I wholeheartedly agree with you, our most valuable asset is time. Money can be replaced. Physical assets can be replaced. You can't replace time.
No.
It's finite. And we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
None of us know when that our ticket's going to get punched.
Yeah.
So
I thought you were going to go into what time was. That's
we could do
discussion.
that.
Yeah, that's where I thought we were going. I'm like, do we
I'm
want to
gonna
go
need
there?
more mezcal if you
Yeah,
do.
we're going to put him to sleep.
That's the dabbling scientist.
Yeah. We would be down.
So Lem, what's inside of the rock? I'm like, fuck both of you. I don't care.
No pun intended, but that would be a wormhole.
I know, that's what I was...
Oh, there you go.
See, now
We're
I know
ready
why
to go now.
that side, me and Lim are over here on this side.
So we're gonna go outside and drink.
Hello, Voyager.
No, what I'm saying
Is that a Star Trek joke? What did you say?
Voyager 1.
Oh, okay.
We just got back in
I
contact with
thought-
her again. Finally. Yes, we had to update the code on her, which NASA pulled it off. What are we at, 47 years now in space?
don't even lie, because there's some stuff that still sticks, and you're like, damn it, I know that now.
And he'll remember
I
that.
know that now.
He's
You
gonna
know
throw
there's
it
some
out for
stuff,
his
and you're like,
conversation.
There is.
He'll be like, do you know?
No, he's going to be at
No.
trivia, and he's like, I know
I'll
the
go
answer.
to like a text defense networking, and they'll start dropping keywords like, shit, they just talked about this in our class. So let me tell you what I know.
You know what's so funny? It's because I write so many resumes and like I help scientists and stuff too. So like I know all the verbiage. And I'm upfront with them. I'm like, I know what you need to put in here. I can't tell you the definition, but I know, and I'll tell you how it needs to sound.
You know there's
There you
something
go.
missing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so
You know
I've
there's
had
something missing.
clients where they're like, "Oh my God, you get it," and in my head I'm like, "I don't really," but I do.
Yeah, but you know people.
Yeah.
But
We know the people.
You know people.
Lem, you understand? I was like, yeah, but I'm gonna hand you over to Mike and Jacob,
Yeah, right.
and they'll kind of show you through the dynamic.
I have a good friend who's a recruiter, and he tells me the same thing because he hires engineers, scientists, technologists,
you
and
get
he's
the verbiage.
yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
I understand what
lingo.
has to be on there.
Yeah,
but
it's lingo.
Right, you're like, but if you want a definition, he's like, I
Oh, yeah,
can't.
forget it, yeah.
No.
I was like, no.
Yeah.
Do you think that skill set that we just all agreed on, that quick decision-making capability, and I think that when business owners are making those quick decisions, the business plan, meetings, I just did my taxes kind of thing, and looking at where all my assets are, what my revenue is, what my EBITDA is, all that stuff, right? All those things are all rolling in their head when they're making these quick decisions. They're all just there, and they pull from them to say left, right, left, right. Do you think that ability is innate, or you think it's taught?
I think you have to be naturally curious to be good at being a business owner. Like
I agree with you.
normally say, my strength is research, getting back to like interviews and stuff. If they're like, what's your greatest strength? I would say research, because if you just point me in the right direction, I will figure out what that is. And so to your point, another thing is joining an association. For whatever industry you're going to be in, because you're going to get a lot of valuable tools. Like when I was starting my resume business, I joined the National Resume Writers Association. Well, that just let me know what licenses did I need? What didn't I really need? How were my taxes going to be filed? And then I also got plugged into people who'd been in the industry longer, which also gave me more confidence in knowing, I do belong here. I should be here. Because it's a big leap from working for somebody else.
It's a huge
And
leap.
I mean, like, I'm going to execute this on my own. You get a lot of imposter syndrome, especially around pricing, is what I found with a bunch of new business owners. They just can't. Things are happening for free. You want a refund if you don't like this. And like, no.
I'm just going to throw that out there. I think a lot of that sometimes comes from, I know very successful business people who still function that way. Like when a new opportunity comes, there just isn't this sense of like confidence in the value that they have, and they're quick to say, I'm going to be the cheapest thing possible, so this person doesn't have a chance to even second guess it. And they don't realize how much they forget about just leaving on the table, right?
Yeah.
They diminish their value.
Yes.
They diminish the brand.
Absolutely.
The brand is all of a sudden just right at the knees.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, apparently your brand isn't premium, right?
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, I mean,
You gotta know
Okay.
your worth.
my dad's not
gotta
going to
know your
watch
worth.
this, so I'm going to say it anyways. It wasn't his, it was his dad's.
Oh, your dad's not gonna
But
watch your
in
show.
Probably not.
That's that one viewer in Fresno you
Yeah,
pissed off.
Yeah.
Well,
No, but
Try to do my
so
best.
their slogan used to be "Where the best costs you less," and I was like, "That's horrible.
Yeah.
What is this?" And it wasn't my dad; it was my grandfather. To be fair, because it passed
But
down.
in his defense, because I'm older than everybody here,
You assume you're old.
no, I'm
No, he
older.
is. He's definitely
Yeah,
older.
and you knew he was gonna chime in.
Man,
He's like, he's
old
fatter
ass.
and he older than everybody here.
Crew, add up the crew and their ages. God damn.
Lem, do this with your shirt.
Jiggle, baby.
Oh my!
Back then, I remember as a kid in the 70s. Yeah, in the 70s, a lot of the ads were really
I
like
like that.
firing off like quick deals, you know? Like,
Yeah.
hey, this is
That's
really
true.
quick. There's urgency. You know, it's a call to action, like all this stuff.
well, everything was driven down by price because in that time, I mean, you had the oil crisis that was going on.
It was just-
and it was how to make things cheap because before that, it was big luxury. Everyone's gonna have the white picket fence house. I mean, that was the 60s because that was the atomic era. And then the 70s, everything crashed down. It's like, well, how do we reevaluate our society? And so
we got to bring the historian
Yeah,
in.
they
every
made
time.
just like no, but how they did it was like we just won't ever increase wages.
Right,
Ah,
Well, that's
Right,
right, because that's it stopped in the 70s.
right.
That's why everybody could afford those things. So it's also
Yeah.
kind of like a misnomer there too,
Yeah.
because businesses would feel more comfortable with that because they're like, well, we're going to be fine because we're going to get enough in. But to that point, you know, the shop that they had was successful, but then when things changed, like in the 80s, that was no longer successful, and they had no idea how to get out of it because now here's what they knew. And
It is
this
very
how we do
different now.
sales. Yeah,
It's really different now. And I agree with you. Today, that is not what, I mean, I think for me, in my limited knowledge, branding is key.
yes,
Creating an identity that resonates with your audience so that they see value, not just in the product or the service that you bring to them, but in the vision that is who you are, that identity, that is that brand. And then when they feel connected to it, they are, and as long as anything that you do, either in a product or service, that supports and builds that identity, for them means like, yeah, that's almost like our relationships with individuals.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's who Lem is.
Yeah.
Like somebody can come at me and say, hey, I'm like, whatever, dude, that's Lem. I don't need to hear what you're saying.
well,
Yeah.
things have just become so much more individualistic because, of course, you have social media. So instead of it being, oh, it's this big company entity, it's like, oh, I have their Instagram right here. I can message them if I want to. So
True.
It's all social selling.
yes,
Everything.
exactly.
Yeah, which is good and bad, you know,
Why do you think it's bad?
because you have to pay to play in the majority of it, and so I feel like in a lot of these things, the small businesses are still, they get the brunt end of it. You know, some of these things and even regulations that are put out there are great, but they do damage to like the legitimate small businesses.
Yeah.
You know, it's always left behind. So just like with AI, they're going to regulate it, and it should, but I'm just waiting for it to be a regulation that hits the small businesses and is not going to affect the corporations. And it just
Because they'll be
sucks.
able to afford it.
Right, exactly. And it just
Right.
sucks because it is such a leg up.
Yeah.
If people could only understand, because to your point about time, here's a way for somebody to get their time back.
Yes.
Right.
Get on the same even level playing field. And it's just, the disparity is just, it's frustrating because you just keep people where they're at. You know, it's very hard to get to the next level and come out of wherever you began at because of the way that the constructs are. But anyways, I'm going to have more of my drink.
Yeah.
I like
Wait,
that.
what did we make her to drink? Well,
that's
actually, we didn't make her anything.
Vodka and tonic with lime.
That's what you
Yeah,
like, right?
and
Oh, is it?
and you're disrespectful because I went to the store, I got the vodka, and you disrespected my.
You
vodka.
brought vodka to a bar. We got a full bar here.
I said I was going to get her. She likes vodka tonic.
No, that's not why you didn't use his vodka. You didn't like what he bought for vodka. And don't you say the word, because we might get a sponsor, and like Fresno, you're going to kick them out.
Yeah.
And they ain't never going to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So you cannot say the name,
So.
but he wouldn't use it because it wasn't bougie enough for him.
Exactly. And you're going to give me my bottle back.
You can have the bottle back.
I'm going home with that
I'm
thing.
not sure what's wrong with you people.
Do you guys
Who are you calling you people, huh?
do you guys know what we're drinking?
Alcohol.
Tequila?
Very good. Thank
Do you
you.
want to try some?
Oh, no.
No?
You don't want to give me tequila.
This is not tequila.
What is
It's
it?
mezcal.
It's mezcal.
Oh, okay.
You want some?
Sure, I have a little bit.
All right. Very little.
Just don't make me mad.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Drunk?
Good warning.
No, only with,
Tequila?
yeah.
What happens?
Ooh.
Now he wants to discover.
Listen,
It's like,
can
all
we
right.
get the crew to zoom in?
Okay, zoom in. So exactly what happened?
I don't know. It's just
Because you don't remember?
no. I remember. It's
It's like
just
the Incredible Hulk. It's like,
the classy, Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
going to remember.
it's I don't know. Just for some reason, like I'll be fine, but if you piss me off, I can't. There's no coming down from it. I will not calm down from it.
Oh, I don't need liquor to do that.
I like Laura.
We know.
I like Laura.
I know my boundaries.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm the same thing.
With alcohol?
No.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Just
not saying that.
Every day.
No.
Every day.
Every day.
But if somebody takes you
Oh, don't.
to
So
the brink,
it takes me a bit,
yeah,
because you've seen,
yeah. Mhm.
I have a temper,
Yeah.
very, very pronounced one,
Yeah.
but I manage it.
Yeah.
And if you take me there, I'm not coming back down.
Yeah. It's, man,
That's it. You,
All
Yeah.
four branches of the military. man.
you just pulled me over,
Five
and
now.
I will warn you as I'm escalating.
Yeah, I will too.
I would
you
like
should leave
I will
now.
let you. Yeah, I'll be like, this is done. We're done.
This needs to stop right now,
Yeah.
or we're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll do it a couple, and then once it's a problem, always
We're
a
done.
problem.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
So I learned almost probably over 15 years ago now. So I just, but I'll be okay. You guys are nice.
We're gonna do
But,
it.
but,
Just a little.
Yeah,
Okay.
just a taste.
I like
And
this.
don't finish it if you don't want to. So this is Fidencio, and it's a really good kind of peppery mezcal, but smoother. Some mezcals can be a little bit rougher, but this one's actually very nice and very light.
You do the thing?
So
I don't smell no hot sauce.
you mean your
That's in your
A1
purse.
sauce? Are you talking about your A1?
Okay, so now Laura.
Oh
hold
wow!
on.
Let me tell you about
Here we
these
go.
bullies.
Here we
That's
go.
why we're on the
Bullies.
same side, though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be your
No,
friend in a minute.
Allow me to set the scene
yeah.
first.
Set the scene while you pour the drink.
Yeah, allow me to set the scene.
Wait, we gotta
So,
get her something. So she, I
We
can
did
pour
a
this
whole
in.
dinner party. We did sous vide steaks, side dishes, the whole menagerie.
Sous vide and seared.
Yes, sous vide and seared. They came out perfect, just above, just above rare, right at that medium to rare spot. Phenomenal coloration. And then Lem here is like, I'm going to bring A1.
When you finish that one, I'll give you a little bit of a bite.
Oh, now we've got a challenge. I'm totally listening. I'm a mom. I can do
It's okay.
3 conversations at
You don't
once.
have to listen to me.
I will talk for ages.
I'll just do
He will. He will.
You
And
do
then
you.
Lem here shoots a text over and says, I'm going to bring the A1 sauce. I'm like, for what? You're not bringing that in my house.
I totally remember the text.
And because he loves my wife,
No, you
she
didn't.
brought it.
No, he didn't say, "I'm gonna bring it over." He said, "Do you have
Have
A1?"
some.
That's right. He
Yeah.
said, do you
Have
have
some.
A1?
And you said, "A1 for what?"
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Well, what kind of sauces you got?" And then I stayed quiet because I was basically bent over laughing so hard that I split my pants, and it was just. And then he finally goes, "What did you said?" Oh, you said this is what changed it. You said Kim liked it,
Yeah.
and then I was like, "Well, my sister likes it, so I ain't gonna."
Yeah,
say
so he
nothing."
deflected.
He deflected.
But that's what you do in a healthy marriage.
There you go.
have permission. Yeah, me and my husband
To
do that.
use your spouse.
There you go.
Me and my husband do it all the time.
Power partners right here, baby.
I tell my husband, I had to bust you on this one, so just be prepared.
Oh, nice! I like that.
Yeah,
That's
we
teamwork.
have that permission. You
it.
bust me, I'll bust you. It's
But let me
fine.
tell you.
But with your A1 sauce, see, depending on where he goes and gets his steaks regularly and whoever prepares them regularly,
I
This
also
is
did
he
a
needs is
red
for
wine
the
reduction
flavor.
sauce on top of that.
Do you regularly get steak with red wine reduction sauce? Like, do you know
No.
that flavor? So you don't
No.
know that. You gotta.
No.
You have to ask if he knows it, because if he knows it, then he's not gonna bring A1 again.
Right.
But if he doesn't know it, you gotta give him the space
You are
to be like, it's gonna be
uncultured
okay.
swine.
No, because you guys.
I have no response, but I will later on when we're talking about something.
He's like,
damn,
oh, I'm gonna have something for you in a minute.
And then, no kidding, less than a week later, we're at another steak restaurant, and oh
But
boy.
their sauce was delicious though, so I didn't need A1.
What sauce?
Right, it's a backup.
But
It's a
With
way
the sauce
of
that they
being.
have for this, they had sauce for the steak.
It's a
you
way
put
of
sauce
being
on
like.
Yeah,
If
they already
this
had
is-
it on there.
It's a way of
But how did
being.
he
It's
order
like,
it?
is this no good? What he wants it well done. You know,
Yes.
like that. Okay.
Medium well.
He wanted it well done.
I asked medium well.
That's
And
well
they-
done.
I had to get it. I had to get it well done too when I was pregnant. So I understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now
so he's pregnant.
That's like you saying
with purpose.
you're saying medium well,
Yeah.
and I'm saying well done. And
Yeah.
you say no, I said medium well. That's like you thinking that medium fits you.
So to be fair though, I have A1 steak sauce in my house
Thank you, Laura.
in case the cut of meat is not what it needs to be, because I can't always get the good steak all the time because I got family to feed and we got other priorities like music and travel and stuff. So
I got a steak spot for you.
so
that's
I'll do
crazy
that.
good.
But
I need a steak spot.
I got one for you.
I grew up hating steak because my
What?
Okay, my grandma is from Oklahoma originally.
Oh, that's
I don't know
crazy.
if you know what that means, but
That means a
when
good
this-
steak.
That is not what that means. I don't know who you know from Oklahoma.
No, I've never
but-
been to Oklahoma.
All right, so this is what.
I
yeah.
flew over.
What that means
good
is
steak in
my
Oklahoma?
steak used to be crispy. It was crispy on the outside. I used to dip steak in
It's a country
ketchup.
fried steak.
No, it wasn't a country
No,
fried
it was
steak.
well
This is
done.
the way what she wanted well done. It
She
needs to
wanted
be
charcoal.
dead.
Yeah.
So I thought steak was disgusting for years until I went to a steakhouse and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So, I mean, I get it.
Uh-huh.
Just be happy you didn't bring ketchup. Like, it could be worse.
Because I used
you
to
know?
do that.
Ah!
Oh,
You used to
no.
bring what?
Put ketchup on my steak.
Oh, no.
See?
Because you weren't getting the right steaks.
That's right.
I'm telling you.
That's right.
Because you didn't use any A1. Wait, did you use A1?
No.
You did not use A1.
No. But they had their own
And
stuff.
you didn't have it well done. You had a medium rare.
And it was delicious.
And it was delicious.
And so I told Kim, I was like, babe, I'm gonna bring, the leftover steak home. And so she got up, went
She
to
got
the
her
gym.
A1 sauce.
No, she got up, went to the gym.
She unfortunately
I
didn't even
got
get
up,
that.
And I warmed it up and ate it.
Yeah, that's so
Big
wrong.
dog.
Yo,
You just
she
took it
came
from
home-
Kim?
She came home and she saw the plate on the bedside because I was laying in the bed because y'all got me so damn drunk that night before. And
was Jacob.
Blame it on me.
Yeah,
was Jacob.
and she saw the plate. I'm laying in the bed watching Blue Bloods.
Blue Bloods?
Yeah,
Oh,
Tom
my
Selleck, baby.
Lord.
You don't like
Let's
Blue
go.
Bloods?
No.
How could you not like Blue Bloods?
God.
Yo, you
Tom
and Kim
Selleck.
are like twinsies, man. She hates Blue Bloods
How could she hate Blue Bloods?
because then something's wrong with these people.
Miami Vice is better.
What?
Ah, yes.
What?
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
watch that all day. And
Oh,
the
yeah.
original.
Yes.
Don't you give me this remake crap.
Oh, no, no.
The
Horrible.
original with
want-
the steak meat
you
on
want-
his chest
you
and
want
his shirt open.
Two dudes?
Heck yeah.
You
Playing
want
all
two
the
dudes
good
in a
music?
pastel?
Yes.
That's what you want?
Hey,
what we want.
Don Johnson is beautiful. Don't start it.
I'm like,
Not to me.
Don't start.
So
Well,
Me
in-
either.
you know what?
need to
In my
put your
business,
glasses
in my
on.
business plan, he's not.
sexy.
and I'm not adding it to mine.
No,
That is not the addendum I am adding to my business plan.
Oh, I was
There
such
we
a
are.
huge fan that when I was 10, my mom called me and pretended she was Don Johnson.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
To try, I'm a legitimate
wow.
fan.
All right.
Huge
Blue Bloods is
And
Blue
Beta.
Bloods is
for
show.
contemporary. Blue Bloods is on point.
Okay,
Yeah.
I honestly
And
like,
Tom
I've
Selleck
only
is
watched
my
like
dude.
one. I mean, I like Tom Selleck. Have you seen Quigley Down Under?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
Tom Selleck's your dude. You haven't seen that?
Bro,
No.
that's a sleeper movie.
Magnum PI.
No,
Blue
no,
Bloods.
No.
Quigley Down Under
Quigley Down Under.
is a
That's
movie that, frankly,
It's so
Tom
weird.
Selleck should have done more westerns.
It was so
Oh.
good.
It was, he was
It was
unique, believable.
Yeah.
It was really good. I gotta watch. I was actually thinking about that the other day. I
Yeah,
gotta watch
you
that
gotta
again.
And you know
watch
he
it.
didn't want to
It's
be an
good.
actor?
Yeah, I actually just
You saw the CBS?
Yes.
He did not want to be an actor. He was an easy A.
Oh.
And he was just trying to get through school.
Oh, that makes sense.
But he's got like 63 acres in some ranch out in the
Yeah.
middle of whatever. Yeah.
I like to visit.
But during his interview, dude, he had that same demeanor, like the character in Blue Bloods,
Yeah.
right?
He's not
The
a good
Regans.
person to interview. He does.
You don't think so?
No.
I like the way he is.
Nah. I like him, but I don't think he, he's very
He's
much
not
engaging.
charismatic.
No. He's
doesn't-
very, very stoic. Just right
Oh,
there.
see, I
and
like
he's
it.
and you like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's John Wayne, Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
That's all those guys. I
John
love
Wayne
that.
was very entertaining.
And Clint Eastwood
charismatic.
talks to empty chairs.
And Clint
So
Eastwood's an
I don't
idiot.
know.
He's like 100 years old.
Yeah, the 7.
He didn't do that. He didn't do that back when he was shooting orangutans.
Okay, for real, orangutans.
Yes.
Not Charlton Heston. Clint Eastwood. Dirty Harry.
No.
The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. For a few dollars more.
Clint Eastwood.
Fistful of dollars.
He had the
He
movie
shot an orangutan?
where orangutan's like
Josie
this.
Wales.
He walks over to it. It goes like this, and the orangutan falls. I forget the name of the movie. Every
sure
which
it
He
way
would be
but loose.
canceled if that was came out.
Okay.
Every which way but loose.
I have not seen that. I was like, are you sure it wasn't Charlton
Positive.
Heston in some
Why
Planet
would
of
you
the
bring up
Apes?
orangutan?
Because he likes to
She's
shoot
thinking
things.
Planet of the Apes.
He likes to shoot things. Orangutans, guns, Charlton Heston.
So Laura, I love
Oh.
the yeah. Well, you're the one we interviewed. She's like, really, me?
No, it's just like such a smooth. It's just like so large.
Yeah. So as we turn back
Yes.
And ignore Mike.
and ignore Mike,
Yes.
From here on out.
the testimonials that I've heard and that people have shared with you about the resume services. I want to shift to the other stuff, but we'll do that in a second. But how does that make you feel when you hear those testimonials, those people that have now excelled in their careers, then they write you back, they invite you to their wedding, and all they meet their spouse because of you? I mean, what does that do for you?
I mean, it's great. You
Yeah.
know, it's validation that
Yeah.
what you're doing is actually helping
Yeah.
people, which feels good, you know. And it's also a confidence boost because
Yeah.
you put things out into the world. You don't know how they're going to come out
Mm-hmm.
because it is a form of writing.
Yeah.
And I fancy myself a writer. It's one of the things I wanted to be when I was little.
Let's
An
go.
actor, a lawyer, and a writer.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be a lawyer.
Yeah, Law and Order.
Oh, I could definitely see you arguing in court.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's honestly, I majored in English literature solely because I wanted to be an attorney,
Yeah.
and I love research.
Well, see,
That's-
here we go.
Yeah,
Here we
that's
go.
my favorite thing.
So, no, I mean, like, it feels good. And especially because my clients come back to me throughout the years as they're progressing, which is even better. Because then I'm like, oh, yeah, that really was a good thing for them. Because now it's 5 years later and they're still coming back to me for something else. So it's good. It's nice to know that you're helping people,
Yeah.
you know?
I like I'm just chime in. I promise he'll be PC.
No.
I thought you weren't talking anymore.
You're right. Are you kidding? He's had mezcal.
Oh, yeah,
promise-
I'm ready, by
I
the
mean,
way.
not promise.
She's ready.
I'm ready, by the way.
Oh, perfect.
His microphone's off, right?
No.
I promise.
Yeah, they turned that off like 10 minutes ago.
I shouldn't say promise. I will try to be PC.
No, you won't.
Try.
Okay.
No, you won't.
Give it the old good college try.
But what I was going to say is what I appreciate about your reaction to his question, which is as much as it pains me, was a good question.
He's full of comments today.
I'm telling you, little roll.
Let me know if that's too much.
Grazie.
That's good.